Hey there everyone, welcome back to Life After Neverland. I'm so grateful to have you here today. We are honoring the TV series The Chosen by talking about a weekly discussion from The Chosen Devotional. And this week is called Renegade. That's what we're going to be discussing. But before we get started, I wanted to show you my new Chosen merch. Look at it. Yay, my cute little t-shirt. And it's called Against the Grain, something I'm way too familiar with. How about you guys? Going against the grain? It's not always the easiest path, right? Lots of bumps along the road, but I will tell you the rewards come if you just stay the course. You can check the link in my description down below so you can get your Chosen merch, which the devotional is also part of the Chosen merch. So check that out when you're finished watching this vlog today. They have so many cute items to choose from, okay? Now, I have one more thing I wanted to tell you guys, and that is my husband and I were brainstorming and we wanted to go a little further with our Chosen, how do I want to say, journey. Our Chosen journey. We wanted to go just a little bit further, and we thought it might be fun for us to host a Chosen Trivia Night, Chosen TV series Trivia Night, and we wanted to see if our Global Army friends would like to join us. Bring your family and friends. We'll make it something fun, and if you are interested in doing that, we will go live, but we want to make sure we have some people joining us so we're not sitting there all alone by our little lonesome, right? That doesn't sound like a fun party, right? So could you make a comment down below and type in trivia if you are interested, and then we can get things started. Now, if you don't mind, if you can hit the bell down below, and when we are ready to go live and we are ready to put everything together, you will get a notification and you will know when to join us. And also too, I make a comment to your comment. I'd love for you to be able to know that that comment is there so we can connect. So with that being said, I think we need to get started on Renegade. All right, here we go. One of the problems with being outside is that bugs like to jump on me, and I am not a bug fan. I love being outside, but forget the bugs, okay? I need them to go away. They ruin all the fun, you know what I mean? Okay, definitely had one right there. Okay, I digress. Renegade. Here we go. The true light, which gives light to everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him. Yet the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own people did not receive him. But to all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God, who were born, not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. John 1:9-13. He was coming like in a movie. It's the premise of a lot of great westerns. At a desolate time in a desolate place, the stage is set for an unlikely hero to emerge. Only instead of the gunslinging cowboy riding in to save the town, it was Jesus, and he was coming to save the world. But the world did not know him. Think of that. Creator God walked along his creation for the purpose of saving them, and they had no clue. But why would they? First, he was too average looking to be noticed. He had no form of majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. Second, he was too poor to be impressive. Third, he was from Nazareth, a town so small and off the beaten path that it was considered uneducated, backwoods, full of hicks and sticks. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." Nathanael said to him, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Now, I want to say this first and foremost. One of the episodes, and I believe it was maybe episode 2, and that was when Mary was hosting the Shabbat, and Jesus came to the dinner, and one of the young men said that. He made that comment, and it was funny how he said it off the cuff, like, could anything good come out of Nazareth, And the way Jesus handled that as well was really cute. This is a beautiful reminder of God coming into the world and being a human, and what he represented. There's a lot of pressure that's put on people to be a certain way and act a certain way, look a certain way, and that's how you're supposed to be, like the perfect Christian. Who put that in our head? Who put that in our head? And I think that getting used to different is beautiful because that needs to change. That's a restructuring of our mindset in regards to God, in regards to Jesus, that I truly honestly feel needs to change. And obviously that's just coming from me, okay? Bugs, they're making me mad today. He came into his own, and they did not receive him. Jesus was raised in Nazareth, but he didn't stay there. When he claimed to be the Messiah, they rejected him. Then they ran him out of town on a rail. When the people of Nazareth heard these things, all in the synagogue were filled with wrath, and they rose up and drove Jesus out of the town and brought him to the brow of the hill on which their town was built, so that they could throw him down the cliff. But passing through their midst, he went away. But to all who received him, to all besides faith, there were no requirements for having a relationship with Jesus. No status, no age, no race, no gender, no prior education or track record of good behavior. He welcomed the poor, the rich, the intelligent, and the not so much. He, in fact, broke every cultural, political, and social boundary in pursuit of all. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free. There is no male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. I want you guys to remember that. And if you forget it, I want you to go back and I want you to rewind it and listen to it again and again and again so that you can retrain your mind and understand that concept. We are not one to say you aren't good enough for Jesus. You aren't good enough for God because you're like this or you're like that. The damage that you can do to other people by saying those words. And I don't think that you want to be a person to say that. I really don't. So I hope that this will enlighten you guys and really, really touch your heart and soul in a way that it will uplift you and make you feel accepted and make you feel valued, as you should. As you should. So yeah, it was tough to recognize Jesus as the Messiah, the hero, especially because of what he looked like, how he acted, and who he chose to spend time with. But those who got it, those who followed the renegade, once their eyes were opened, they reaped the reward. And so can we. And with him, we become our own kind of renegade. With Jesus, ride or die. I absolutely love this portion of the devotional. This one's my favorite thus far. I'd love to know your opinions down below and how you feel and if you've ever felt like you didn't fit into Jesus's mold or God's mold. I personally feel in my heart that Jesus wouldn't want you to be pushed away from him because other people are judging you. I think he would want you to come to him and allow him to make that choice for you. And so with that, you guys, let's do some uplifting with the questions that they have here in this devotional. And I'm going to wrap my husband into the midst of this because I know he'll have some fun with this question, and it's a very deep question and I would love for him to get involved in it. So let's go find out where he is and he'll join me on this one, okay? Hey, Sean.
Hi.
All right, say hi to our chosen friends.
Hi, chosen friends.
All right, so in the devotional today, they had a question, and it was, Jesus repeatedly extended his hand to all types of people, and in what ways do you need to be more like him? That's the first part of the question.
I think that's probably one of the key parts of that phrase is all types of people, because I think we all have a comfort zone, and we like to stay within our comfort zone even when doing good deeds for people. Maybe our inner circle of friends and family, and maybe we're a little hesitant if someone, is outside your comfort zone a little bit. My example would be, we were driving down the interstate, and we were heading home, and this poor lady was on the side of the road, and she had a bed mattress on top of her car, and she didn't secure it properly, and it had blown off. So she's on the side of the interstate trying to fight this mattress back on top of her car, but she wasn't quite strong enough to do it. And I could tell when I got there she was really sweaty. She'd probably been there for 20, 30 minutes fighting with this thing. And we stopped. I got out. I helped her get the mattress back in her car. She was super thankful and got in her car and drove off. And I don't know the impact that I was able to make. I'm hoping that when she left, it had a good feeling in her heart that, Good Samaritan stopped. And, I make sure I say, God bless you, when I'm done, just to make sure you plant that seed to let people know that, you're spiritual and you're there, doing God's work. And I just really hope that I made an impact on her. And, a lot of people drove by because you get nervous. You don't know who that person is, and sometimes you can make a greater impact on people who don't know you and don't expect you to help versus people who you help often, friends who are sick and you bring them some dinner. Still do those things. That's nice. But I think Jesus never hesitated to reach out to people who most people were passing by because maybe they were homeless, maybe they were, little scary. Don't get yourself hurt. Be safe, but don't be afraid to help people outside your comfort zone.
The two of us have been really big on extending our hand to other people, I think, throughout our entire relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think for me, sometimes it's hard because I've learned that sometimes people will appreciate that, and then sometimes they can take advantage of that, and then they can take it on a whole nother level. So that is something that I've always done, and I've been very fearless in that regard. How about you?
I like to help everyone, to the best of my ability. You never know when that good deed is going to make an impact on them, when they're thinking about it later on. Hopefully you made a difference.
Mm-hmm. So that leads us to the next part of our question, and this is Alice. Say hello, Alice. Yes.
Here's Shiva.
Shiva? Alice. I mean, even extending our hand, we're that way with animals. Like, we extend our hand even to animals in this world too. So not even just human beings, right, hon?
Mm-hmm. Because all things will testify for and against you at the end time. So that includes animals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So don't forget that as well. But the second part to that question was, who do you struggle to welcome? And so, if you don't mind, I'm just going to add on to what I was talking about. I have always been the type of person that I want to extend my hand to everyone, so innocently and sometimes vulnerably. That's not really a word, but I made it up. And I've learned that people will take advantage of that. They'll start to take advantage of me, and something good sometimes will turn into something very negative. And even down to the point where if I did set my boundary with a person and I said, you know what, I don't think I can do this anymore, I think this needs to stop, and maybe that person comes back and they say, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do it. There have been times where I say, okay, come on back, let's try again, and then they turn around and do the same thing over again. And that is where I have a hard time welcoming people. And now the struggle I have in my life right now, and it's very sad, and I'm trying to work on it, is to find that person that I used to be, the one who used to open up my hands to people all the time and offer help to absolutely anyone. Now I've become analytical, like, how am I going to approach this person? Is this the type of person that I can openly give to and they'll be grateful, or is this the type of person that's going to take from me and do things that are going to hurt me in the long run? And I don't like to be that type of person, and I struggle with that immensely. What do you have to say?
I would say, what are my thoughts on that question, or what's my response to you struggling with that?
You can add your own, and you can add on to mine if you want. There's no real rule here, hun. Mm-hmm. There's no rules. Except your turn. That's my rule.
So I was thinking, in regards to that, would be my own personal struggle is, I've had people say this to me when I've complained in the past, when I've held a door open for someone and they just blow right in the door and don't even look over their shoulder to say thank you. And I'm just like, well, you're welcome, jerk, and I've had friends and spiritual people that I look up to say, you should be doing good deeds, not expecting anything in return. And for me, I'm not necessarily expecting anything in return.
Yeah.
I just want to know that they acknowledged and appreciated it, or my good deed was completely a waste of time. And so I struggle with that, because when I do something good for someone and they just don't even acknowledge that I've done it, then I kind of feel foolish. A really silly example, and she'll attest to this one, is that we have a motorcycle, and when we're riding the motorcycle, it's common for motorcyclists to wave at each other. And every time I see a motorcyclist coming and I wave at them, and they just drive right on by and don't even look at me, I always complain about it. It always bothers me. I'm like, well, fine, I'm not going to wave at anyone else then. And then the next motorcyclist coming, I have that thought in my head, and I'm like, I don't want to feel silly waving and they don't wave back, so I don't wave. Well, then that guy waves at me, and because I hesitated, I don't wave back, and I'm like, great, now I just became the person that frustrated me in the first place.
It's like a never-ending cycle here.
So, yeah, the lesson here is you got to keep doing the good deeds regardless of how it makes you feel, because you're making a good example, and you never know when it's going to hit and when it's not going to hit. but your intention and the motivation behind it should be the same regardless. I'm working on that. I can't preach that to people because I struggle with it, but I acknowledge that I struggle with it. And every time I have an opportunity to work on it, I welcome the opportunity because I want to continue to grow. So if someone is not appreciating your good works, don't let that stop you from just being that good person, because it'll stay in your heart and it won't affect the next person that comes along who might appreciate it.
I really love that, because we probably all struggle with that. You do something good for someone else, and I even have a hard time thinking, like, when someone does something good for me, then I feel like if I don't do something good for them back, are they not going to want to be like my friend anymore? It's like this weird, messed up cycle of craziness, I feel like. Anyone can relate? What do you think? Yeah, and I don't really know if anyone has an answer, or even Sean even has an answer. It's just a growth process for me, is now learning. Have any of you guys ever been there before, where you just give, and then all of a sudden people expect that out of you, and then they start almost, well, in my life, it's kind of been a little bit of terrorize. So then you start closing the door, whereas the door's like wide open. Come on, let me give you a hug. Let me love on you. And let me give you this, and this. And then all of a sudden people will start taking. And then the door starts slowly closing until it's almost shut. And then finally it's locked. And I don't want to become that person where the door is just locked. Yeah.
Well, I would say that I've also noticed that I was starting to get maybe more cold than I normally am, because I've always been a giving and loving person. Yeah. And through the past few years, both of us had to deal with some real negative people in our life, and it caused us to not want to be those people anymore. But we called ourselves out on it, and we're getting back to where we used to be. And I'll tell you what inspires me is our neighbor. His name is John.
Yeah.
And John, I don't want to guess his age, but he's older than us. And he just
I'll guess maybe 70s.
70s? Maybe, yeah, probably close. I was going to say late 60s, early 70s. And he always has a positive energy, a smile on his face, and words of wisdom to give you. Yeah. And he has bad days. He wakes up with a headache, or maybe something at work doesn't go right. He opens up to us some stressful situations at work, but I'll tell you what, the dude always has a smile on his face, and he walks past you and you just get this blast of positive energy. And he's been through a lot more in this life than we have. And so I look at him and I'm like, you know what, if he can do it, I can do it. And I let people like that be my inspiration, instead of looking at the people who caused the damage and letting them win, because ultimately that's what's happening. They're dimming your light. Mm-hmm. And God wants our light to shine. God is light. And so when you're shining, you are God. And
we were literally just talking about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And God wants you to shine so brightly that people need to wear sunglasses. And you can't shine that brightly if you're holding on to damage from people in the past. So look for the people who inspire you, and let that be your igniting, your ignition to be the person you really want to be.
Ooh, I just thought of something. You know how they say the song, "The future is bright, gotta wear shades"? Have you guys ever heard that song? I don't even know who sings it, but you know what we should say? Jesus is light, gotta wear shades. Yo. But I wanted to add to that. I'm going to give you a quick example, because I tell you, Sean and I could get on a tangent. We probably are. But we were working out in the gym. If you want to talk about light and dark, we had a perfect example of this when we were working out in the gym. And Sean and I, we were laughing, not rudely. We're not disrespectful people. So anybody who knows us knows that we're not like loud, rambunctious, and disrespectful to others. We're extremely mindful of others all the time. Right, babe?
We were just talking about house projects, because HGTV was on the TV in the gym, and we were talking about projects that we want to work on in our house this summer.
Mm-hmm. And we were laughing about some of the things that, had happened to us in past projects that we tried to do, and we foiled them and all that stuff. Am I interrupting?
No.
Okay, great. So I'm going to keep going then. So the lady next to us, she got mad at us for talking. She got mad at us for laughing. She was telling us that we were being disrespectful. I mean, she literally was so mad at us for just talking, and she even was mad because we chose the equipment next to her when she felt we could have chosen something different. And it really got my heart beating really hard, because, again, I never had the intention to hurt, bother, or frustrate anyone. And quite honestly, I thought she was the one being disrespectful. We were just enjoying our life. We were at the gym, a public venue where you're supposed to talk. It was loud anyways. There's like 20 TVs going and all the machines and the fans and everything. Plus, like I said, if she wants quiet, she should probably work out in her own home.
Or just wear some headphones.
We were having fun. And honestly, that ruined my morning. Like, I was upset. My heart was beating hard. I was like, how can this person say, look, we were having fun? And sometimes people need to have an outlet of health and happiness, and working out is one of those things. So then she left, and then she was like throwing her arms up and being obnoxious. She was being obnoxious. Her whole reaction. So then this lady comes by and takes her spot after she leaves, and she's like, hi. And I remembered her from one of the jobs that I had where I used to work at the YMCA, and she was so bubbly and so kind and so friendly, and that was an example. And then we started to feel better, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a blast of negativity immediately followed by a blast of positivity. And if you think about it, like, we showed up, we were the same people that, we arrived there like normal Sean and Corinne. And both those people had a huge impact on our energy. One of them left us both feeling like really frustrated with the world and people, and then that followed right by someone who made us feel uplifted and energetic and ready to go make a positive impact on someone else's life. And it's just the power that we have to people around us is just it's huge, and a lot of people don't understand it. They're not self-aware. Or, we got to be those people, like that lady who came to the treadmill, and she just had a big old smile. Hey, guy, got on the treadmill right next to us and was just all chatty. And it's like, sometimes you feel like God sends you an angel.
Yes.
Especially when you're really frustrated. It happens a lot.
Right. And I think sometimes, that attaches to us. So that woman's negativity, had we not had the beautiful light person join us, could have attached to us for the rest of the day. And we all have a choice to make. Do we want to accept that in, or do we want to accept the light? Because it's easier to see the negative, right, guys, and the darkness that people throw out into the world than the ones that have the light. And so I think that's a great reminder that you need to remember those people that you encounter, even if it's down to somebody, like Sean said, opening up a door for you or letting you cut in front of them in line because you have less items than they do.
In the Bible, it says that not even offering, I'm not going to say it word for word, but paraphrasing, but even if you offer someone a glass of water, you'll be rewarded in heaven for that. So just every little thing you can do to just brighten someone's day, paying for the person's coffee behind you at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes, well, that's fun.
Anything, just the smallest little things can make a huge impact on someone's day. I used to have on Facebook all the time where someone's like, I was having a horrible day, and then the person in front of me paid for my coffee, and it just completely changed my attitude.
Yeah, and I'll leave you guys with this. So I think that's a great way to finish for the day, you guys. Like, what light can you bring to someone else's life, a complete and utter stranger? And it doesn't have to be anything huge. It can literally be like the things we're talking about. And, you do have to pray for some of those people. And I've been trying to work on that as well, is praying for the people like that lady. She must be really unhappy. There's something in her life that is making her so miserable. And she was taking it out on me and my husband. Because guess what? We were happy. We were laughing. We were having fun. And she didn't like that. And I know we were not being disrespectful. I promise you that. I promise you that. That is not even in my nature. So
yeah, I'd be interested to hear either a situation where you were able to really help someone out, or where someone was able to we gave you an example where we were the light, and then we gave you an example where someone was a light to us. So even if you have a situation where someone really brightened your day when you're just really feeling crummy, I think we all can be inspired and learn from those stories. So in the comments down below, if you feel comfortable leaving us a version of that story, I'd love to read them.
Yeah, you guys, seriously, it could be something as simple as giving someone a compliment. I was even thinking one time when I was in college and I was just beating myself up. I didn't feel pretty. I was having a really bad day, beating myself up, like very low self-esteem day. And there was this cute man and woman that walked by me at work, and they said, oh, you are just so cute. You look like Drew Barrymore. And that literally fixed everything. I didn't even know who they were. Sometimes I think angels are in disguise at times like that, when you're really having the worst time and someone random just appears and says just the right thing to what's happening inside your soul to lift you up.
Yep, the Bible says many have entertained angels unaware, and I always think of that. I'm like, are you an angel?
Yeah.
Were you an angel?
So give us a comment down below if you have any examples just like that.
Hey, and thanks for having me on your Chosen video today.
Yay!
I know that I haven't been in one yet, so.
Everybody say hi to Sean also in the comments. And don't forget to comment with the word trivia. You can put it after your comment if you want. If you want Sean and I to do a trivia live night with you. We can't do it by ourselves, guys, so we need you. And it'll definitely spread the word about The Chosen, which is exactly what we want, since they are on a little bit of a break until we get season 2 out, okay? I was gonna do this with you guys, so maybe I'll do it next week, but I have this cool little cube, and you roll the cube. So next time I'll have Sean come and we'll roll the cube, and it gives you a question for the day. I feel like I should just give you an example. Like one says, God, thank you for ... So I'll leave you with that for today. What are you thankful for? And I'm thankful for you. So you guys are awesome for watching and being present. So ta-ta for now. We'll see you guys next week with our Chosen Devotional.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.